syncopated.com.
Today I'm going to show you how to use the note repeat function. So the note repeat function, you can use it for a lot of different things like snare drum rolls or hi-hat patterns or drum fills. Instead of doing it all manually, I mean that's great for live and stuff, but you can also use the note repeat for live stuff. By using the velocities, by pressing harder and softer on the pad, you can make really cool patterns, so like accents, using the note repeat button. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use it in pre-production or live settings, both of them. Okay, so it's right here, and when you hold down note repeat on the Maschine micro or the Maschine, the note repeat function will come up here. And on the top, there's 3 tabs. And each tab has the ability to be set for a certain interval, note interval, like the first one. And you can switch between the tabs by pressing F1, F2, and F3. So you can have 3 different kinds of note values. So the first one is quarter note. I set that 16th note and 16th triplets. And you can change them by selecting the tab you want to change and then using the knob right or left to increase, to cycle through. So it goes all the way to 1/32 triplets or 1/64 straight notes. So beforehand you might want to cue up what you're going to use. So I'm going to use 8th notes, 16ths, and I might want to use some triplets, so I'll use some 16th triplets. So I'm going to use that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use this in a setting. You might want to use so this would be, you know what, I'm going to, for this purposes, I'm going to switch this to 16th notes, this to 8th, and this to quarter. All right. So let's say you're doing a dance groove. No, we'll start with hip hop. So I have a hip hop kit loaded here, and I'm going to first lay down a basic kick drum and snare drum, and then I'll show you how to make a really cool syncopated hi-hat using the note repeat function. All right, boom, cha, cha. That's about 90. Yeah, 97 beats per minute. Quantize. So right now I'm not recording, I'm just playing around to show you. So you hold note repeat and then hold down on the note that you want to repeat. All right, so as you can see, I was switching between the different note values. In this case, I was switching between 8th notes and 16th notes. And at one point, I quickly switched to 30-second notes just to add that really cool feel at the end, really fast notes at the end there. So that's one way to do it. And that was using just holding down a steady velocity, just pressing down one. I wasn't like varying the tension on the pad. I was just holding it there. Okay, so another way is to hold down the pad and then vary the tension, vary the pressing, how hard you press, and then you can make some really cool syncopated rhythms on top. So let me show you that. So as you can see, like I was pressing harder and softer near the end. So this is great for like builds. So if you want to have accents or have the notes build up or down. Simply just vary the tension as you hold down note repeat, and you can make some really, really cool syncopated patterns. You might get ideas of like having a pattern. Let's just say da 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 da, and then using the and then syncopating how hard you press to that pattern while you're holding down note repeat. For example, let's say my syncopated rhythm I have in my head is dun 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 dun. All right, so I'll show you how that translates. So I'm going to switch 16th. Dun 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 dun. So you can see, like, you can press harder in a syncopated way to make the overall feel like accents and stuff. So that's really, really helpful. So that's one way to use it. So let me just record something and then I can show you how to use it in other circumstances. Alright, so we have a beat now. Great thing about no repeat is you don't have to quantize it. It's already done for you automatically. Okay, so the next part is I'm going to show you how to use note repeat for fills, drum fills. Now this is good if you can't drum that fast with your fingers, especially in the live situation, but you still want some control over how you want the drum fill to go. So for example, I want a drum fill. I'm just gonna get the metronome going. So activating metronome just in play mode, you hold shift and press play, and it switches metronome off or on, depending which one you press. Okay, I'm going to switch to 16th notes. So as you can say, you can also do grooves with it if you're fast. So you have to lift your finger up at the right moment so it doesn't do like double snare drum or something that you don't want. So with a little practice, you can make up really cool grooves on the fly without having to worry about being on time. Although like live performance is a whole other thing, and to be able to do it good with your just freestyle is a really good skill to have. But in the case where you just don't want to move your finger around too much, you can use note repeat and make some really cool grooves and fills. This kit isn't the best to show you how you'd use the drum fills like in the toms, but you get the point. You can do like just 16th fill here. So just like cycling through each beat. In case of like typical rock drum set, it'd be like the snare drum and then the three toms, like da 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 do 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 do, kind of like that. Okay, so that is doing the fill with note repeat, and you can also, and I was doing a groove too. I'll show you that in more detail now. Like I said, you have to lift up your finger at the right time so you don't produce notes that you don't want. So you have to be fast depending on what you have set. The finer, like the higher the note value, like quarter notes, the less you have to worry about it. But if it's like 16th or 30 seconds, you have to be really fast. Okay. So like kind of like that. I'm going to show you, I'm going to put everything together now and show you how to make a groove just using note repeat, recording it, and then adding a fill and everything from scratch. So I'll do that right now. And before we begin, I'm going to change the pattern, the bar length to 2 bars so we get some more variation. We don't have to cycle through. Just gives us more freedom. All right. And that didn't go too well. So no need to quantize. All right, time to do the hi-hat. All right, ready? All right, so that sounds pretty groovin'. And then now you can just add the little details in to fill in the groove. Okay. So I'm adding the open hi-hat just in there. So I added that like in there near the end, so it kind of finishes off the bar. All right, time for the fill. Right, so it's quiet now, but if I had like instruments in the background, it'd be easier to do the fill. It would match up with the song style and everything, but I'm just gonna do the fill here. So that's a kind of like break pattern there. I'm going to switch back. So all in all, it kind of sounds like this. So pretty grooving all in all. So now you can make sweet grooves on the fly just using note repeat function, and you can play around with different styles. For example, let's say I want to do a triplet feel, just for the heck of it. So I'm gonna put this to 8th triplets. Let's see how that sounds. 2, 3, 4. All right, it's kind of cool. All right, let's try that. Oops. All right, so in this case, some of these notes aren't right on beat, and I want them to be on beat. The problem is, when I did note repeat on the triplets, the grid isn't set for triplets yet. So when I quantize it, it'll snap it to the straight 16th notes, which will throw off the triplets again. So we'll have to switch it to a triplet grid simply by holding grid, going to step by pressing F3, and going, I would say, 16th triplets. And now let's try quantizing it. Bam. So pretty grooving. So I hope that was helpful to you. Let me know how that works for you. You can make some sweet beats, some sweet fills, and that'll give you a lot to work with. All right, until next time.